Hello and welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Pedal. We're back with Mercedes C-Class mods, and today we are talking remaps. It's a bit of a flavour of the month really, isn't it? Remaps. Everyone's getting a remap, because if, like me, you probably got an auto trader, you've had a good scroll through the cars, you found something you like, and you've gone straight to somewhere like, I don't know, Celtic Tuning as an example, and gone, ooh, what can you actually get out of a car? You've then probably gone on YouTube, looked at loads of different videos on remaps, and sat there going, oh, it's just a car on a dyno and some readings. Great. Well, today I'm here to give you a bit more of an after that process, that stage one remap's been done, what's the real difference, and not one of those reaction videos. So today I've got my C200 AMG line, which has been remapped stage one by the great guys, great bloke called Jamie from JC Tuning in Darlington. A great guy who did a fantastic job with this. So hopefully right now there is a little video playing, or a screen playing of JC Tuning, the website, how you can get involved, and what an easy process it was. Now, we wanted to do some filming, however the weather was horrendous. So we couldn't really do any sort of filming of the process, and all it really was him coming out with his very cool car, plugged in his laptop into my C200, and just did some magic with it. And now we've got around about 234 brake horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. So, like I said, we've gone from this car being 184 brake horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque, up to an approximate 234, I think it was, to 420 Newton meters of torque. But the question is, before we get into it, what's the difference between brake horsepower and torque? Very quickly. And I know these are the real boring bits, but sometimes it's great to share the geeky stuff behind how this is all done. Okay, so very quickly, brake horsepower measures how quickly the engine can do the work. Torque measures the turning force produced by a vehicle's engine and the engine's ability to perform work. But what does all that mean? So basically I've had almost an extra sort of 50 brake horsepower, almost an extra 120 Newton meters of torque. Well, that's basically that shunt, that bit that makes you go, ugh, wowzers. So yes, so realistically, I suppose it's one of those, do you really feel the difference? Sorry, I'm out on the North Pennines, and it's a beautiful road here, which we're gonna go on to in a moment. But yes, so some very nice bikes just went by there. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, basically what we have is, it's taken, right, 2 seconds. Right, so as I'm sure you all know, many companies like Mercedes, Audi, and BMW have a variety of engines, or sorry, the same engine in a variety of different models, basically charging different prices, and each one's tuned in various ways. In essence, a remap is basically coming out and just remapping, if you will, reprogramming that engine to suit, to kind of just bring it back to what it could have been, all within its operating potentials in essence. Does that make any sense? So basically, this car, my C200, shares the same engine as the C250. What does that mean? It means basically this is a detuned version of the C250, and all I've basically done is gone, excuse me Jamie, can you make this more so it's a suit more like the C250? Which he's done, and so far I'm pretty happy. Like I said, I didn't want this to be some sort of reaction video. I wanted it to be, you've all seen the dyno testing, you've all seen someone plug something in and getting the results out of it. I wanted this to be more like, well, let's go for a drive. I've lived with it for a few days, I really enjoy what I've got, and I want to share that with you guys. So yeah, I think I've kind of rambled on enough there, so let's get in the car, let's go and have a bit of a blast around. Within the legal limits, naturally. So let's go and have a little bit of a blast around, talk about the car, talk about the remap in a little bit more detail. Yeah, let's go and do that. Come on. Actually, wait just 1 second before we get back onto before we get on the road. Two very, very important things that you should really do once you start doing things like remapping and modifying your car. First of all, I put a performance air filter in this car. It just makes life a lot easier. It makes it breathe a little bit better and allows for that power to come through. Second of all, it is really, really important that you don't buy cheap supermarket fuel. I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you buy the 99 octane fuel. It's better for your engine. Sure, yes, it is a little bit more expensive, but over the long run, it won't damage your car, it won't damage your fuel filter, you won't be changing parts all the time. And when you start to do things like modifying your car, you want that better fuel. At the end of the day, you're a petrol head, you love your car. You know, give it the best stuff, and it will reward you. There, fuel and a good air filter. That's just the start. But the 99 octane fuel is the one. No cheap supermarket fuel. You heard it here first. Whoop. Cattle grid. Okay, so here we are in the car. You'll have to excuse the angle of the camera from the side view. Why? Well, there's a certain angle that I decided to forget before filming today, so I can only apologize for that. Now, usually in my car, I like to have it set to individual. If you remember way back, I did a video when I kind of first got this, like an initial review where you had different settings of the car that you could choose from. You have Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual. I'll be doing rather soon, another video on this, a bit more of a long-term ownership of which settings I like to have it in, etc, etc, etc. However, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the remap, and can you really feel the difference in it? That's really what we're here for, and that's really what you want to know. Because like me, as I say before, you've scrolled through YouTube and you've tried to find, what does it really feel like? Is there really that much of a difference in a remap? Well, I'm here to tell you, from very first impressions, yes there is. Okay, so what I have to say is, when I first went and tested this out, I decided to go out directly straight after the remap, because obviously you've got to, haven't you? It's new, you've got to. So I decided to take it out in the rain like an idiot. In the rain like a clown, didn't I? And what happened? Did I really notice it? Well, not really. I was a bit like, oh, not too sure if I noticed this here. Have I really done it? Flicked through the different settings, and then the back end stepped out a little bit. And then it was a bit squirrely when I just kind of decided to floor it on a natural speed limit, I might add. And yes, the ground was a little bit wet, and it was a little bit squirrely. So from that aspect, I thought, oh, actually, there's that 400 pound-feet of torque kind of working its way through, and that extra 50 brake horsepower that I didn't notice before. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. However, taking the car out right now, on a road like this, on a day like this, out in these country lanes, yes, you absolutely feel that extra 50 brake and that extra 120 Newton meters of torque. Remember, these are estimates. It wasn't dyno tuned, I might add. This was a plug-in and play, all within the safe tolerances. And like me, I was doing this bit more on a bit of a budget. And so I didn't quite have, you know, £400 or £500 for dyno tuning and all those sort of bits and pieces. Yes, you are going to get a more accurate reading, but as long as we've got it in safe tolerances and it really is just kind of making it back to the kind of the C250 engine, I figured I've got the budget, I'm happy to pay the price. The reviews were really, really good from JC Tuning. There really wasn't any bad reviews, so I thought, yep, this is definitely the one to go with. This is what I'm going to go for, and I'm just going to go for it. Something I should have done on my BMW 118 when I had that, but I didn't. So I'm really, really glad I've gone, do you know what, this is the car I'm going to make plenty of content with, do loads of bits and pieces to, and really just kind of enjoy. Whether we're on a country lane, we're in Sport Plus, oh, We're in Sport Plus. Yep, Sport Plus. Now, realistically, if you're in an automatic, in this, you want to have fun, you've got to, in my opinion, you've got to be on the paddle shift every time, because that's where you really feel the difference. The great thing about Sport Plus is when you pop it in, it really just kind of leaves it right on that limiter of, not on the limiter, Jeepers Creepers, but it puts it right on that area where the turbo's kicking in nicely, there's no real lag, and you're just in and it's gone. That's what I really, really like about this car. Back in Sport Plus. Fortunately, typically, I am stuck behind someone who doesn't want to get a shift on. Well, I'm trying to make a video, but I'm not really here for that, am I? I'm here to kind of tell you guys, living with it, or, you know, does it really make a difference? Mercedes C-Class owners, Whiskey 205, the answer quite simply, to save you some time on this video, is yes. Yes, it does make a difference. Yes, I'm glad I did it. Yes, you should absolutely get it done, 100%. But as I keep saying before, and as it was put to me as well, if you are going to do this, then you need to absolutely make sure that you, one, replace the air filter, so you've got a more performance air filter, and so start to replace those performance parts, fuel filters, oil pumps, etc., etc. But the main one, and this is for general, you know, if you've got a bit more something in performance, you're modifying, etc., 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 make sure that you're using 99 octane fuel. Don't buy cheap supermarket fuel. It's not good for your engine, it's not good for your car. Yes, it's cheap and nasty for a reason. So make sure when you're doing this, use that 99 octane fuel. I can't stress that enough. Anyway, I am enjoying this. I'm definitely glad I got this. Country lanes, a good like shift up and down. It's a car where you can use all the power. You can use, you know, I'd say you could probably use 80%, 90% of the potential of this car. Absolutely on these roads. No massive amount of horsepower. There's a good weight in the steering wheel. It's rear wheel drive, in the dry. Yeah. Take the C200 that you've got, get it to where it needs to be, and turn it into the car that you won't be disappointed. You probably want a bit more out of it, but I would definitely recommend a stage 1 remap for your Mercedes C200 Whiskey 205 AMG line. Absolutely. Oh man, it's fun. Right, let's see what happens here. Pop it down. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh man, this is, oh dear. Oh man. Oh man, this is definitely turned into a lot of fun. 100% better, more responsive, more torque, more fun, more smiles, more yes please. Yeah, well, there you go. Take your C200, go and get it remapped. You will not be disappointed at all. So, like I say, I'll leave a link in the description below for JC Tuning. Like I say, fantastic guy, really knows what he's talking about. Definitely competitively priced as well. You're probably looking anywhere between 2 to 250 for a remap, and that's to come out as well. What I'll also say as well, he was also aware of some of the problems that the C-Class does have, and that's going to come on another video. And the following day I had an engine light come on that I was a bit concerned about. He came out, ran diagnostics, and let me know some of the fault codes that had come off that were very common in the C-Class anyway. So a huge, he didn't have to do that at all, but he did, and that was just part of the service. You know, couldn't do enough for us. Came to the house, gave him the keys, knocked on the door when it was all done. Easy as that. So yeah, so huge thanks to Jamie at JC Tuning for really turning this car into a good bit of fun. It's definitely, I've noticed definitely quite a lot on this episode so far, but it's, yeah, just yeah. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a shorter one. We've got loads coming up this year, especially with this car. We've got some kits to be putting on, some things to talk about, a long-term review, just plenty to come as well. So be sure to hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like if you want to, you know, all helps. So for more Mercedes mods and more Mercedes C-Class content, stay tuned. And of course, our racing season is on its way, and that is something that I'm very looking forward to. I've got plenty of work to do with the Armed Forces Race Challenge and the Army Sports Car Racing Team, so that's coming up as well. Busy year. We've got edition 38 coming up. I've got some cool stuff coming up with somebody else, so very exciting times for the channel. As I say, lots to come, especially with this car. Stay tuned, enjoy. Oops. Ugh. Lots coming up with this car. Stay tuned, enjoy. Well guys, that's me signing off for now. Catch you on the next one. Bye bye.